Before we dive into today's episode, I have something truly special to share. Next September, I'll be leading an intimate women's retreat through the south of France and northern Italy, and you're invited. Picture this: mornings exploring the colorful markets of the French Riviera, afternoons sipping wine, and a hotel view with golden Mediterranean sunsets. Whether you love photography, food, or just want to reconnect with your playful creative self, this trip is designed for you. Spots are limited, so if all this sounds like your kind of adventure, please visit tourwithabsolutely.com and look for the tour France and Italy with Crystal. You can also send me a message or check out the show notes. Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Fabrice, how are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm fine. Thank you. Enjoying the winter, but waiting for enjoying spring.
Aren't we all? Winter always feels like the longest time of year, but it's a good time to focus on other things like you are. But we are going to talk about that a little later in the show. I want to go back to your roots. You are French. Where are you from? And what brought you back to Paris?
Well, actually, I'm from the suburbs out of Paris. And I spent my childhood there. And after that, I wanted to be a professional football player. So I had to leave home around 14 years old till 18. And after that, I will tell you a bit later. I lived in Paris, and after my studies, I decided to travel the world. So I was out for almost 10 years before coming back to Paris.
Wow. And we'll talk a little bit about your travels too. But I mean, even from an early age, you were meditating, you were studying the divinity arts, intuition. You were only 13, I was reading, when you started doing these things. I mean, most 13-year-olds, let's be frank, aren't the brightest. You sound like pretty deep at that age. What inspired you to start at such a young age meditating and doing these things to connect with yourself?
I've always thought that body and mind go together. Mm-hmm. Unlike Descartes, we could go deep. Descartes, the French rational. Yeah. So because I was alone in my special school for a football player, I was 14. It was not easy. So because of the hard time, I found a book in the library when I was there, and I started Zen meditation right away. To cool down and to find kind of a balance between the hard football training and the studies together, and missing my family. So it was the perfect excuse to go into meditation, and it helped me a lot, actually.
And what a great thing to start at such a young age. I mean, I wish that was kind of part of the school system to learn those things, because we know, later in life, a lot of us start doing those things, but to start at 13 is great. And you did go on to be a professional football player, but then there was an injury that ruined your dream. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. The knee can be your best friend, but the knee can be your best enemy too. So, during a match, I was aiming at the French football team. And during, as we call a stage, a training for 2 weeks, I had an injury caused by another player. So I had to have béquilles. Crutches, how do you say that in English? Crutches,
exactly.
Crutches to help you walking. So I spent 2 years for being able to walk properly. And after that, it was a totally change in my life. University, girlfriend, traveling abroad. So a new word, a new vision, a new perspective opened up in front of my eyes. So I quit football, and I decided to explore the world and find something else.
So looking back at that time, I mean, going as far as you did, even being in a special school for football, it probably felt like a huge blow. But looking back, does it look like this is kind of the path you were supposed to take, doing what you're doing now?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sure, yeah. Does it look like this was the path that maybe you were meant to take in a way? Because I'm sure at that time you were dreaming of being a professional football player, but now you're doing something completely different, hypnotizing people, putting on shows. So does this feel more like what you were meant to do in the long run?
Yeah, I really believe in that. There are things we can control, other we cannot control, and we have to learn about it, and that the lessons in life. So that was one of my big and very strong, emotionally speaking, lesson in life. Um, Now I'm smiling at it when I remember and recall it, but it was a very hard period. But yes, I think it was meant to be. And sometimes you think you choose things, but I guess that things, people, and situations choose you. And that happened to me, I guess, in my DNA. I guess it was already there like a small seed. And, by the passing of years, um, it was an, how do you say, evidence? It was obvious. It
Yeah.
was obvious day after day, when I was an actor, when I was feeling things about people or situation or forthcoming events, and always wanted to help people, that I would work both in entertainment, but in helping people in their daily life too.
So talk a little bit about how you became a mentalist, how you learned how to hypnotize people. What was that process like? I mean, how does one study that?
Actually, that's a very interesting question because I started with magic when I was 12. I have always been fascinated by, the mind, mysteries, and I was doing magic, basically. I did magic for 20 years, something like that. But I started to want to combine my two passions, theater and magic, but in another way. So mental magic, the magic of the mind, because I have always been fascinated by the powers of the mind. So I say, how can I be mix both of them, magic and theater? And I put together mentalism, a theatrical mentalism show. And that's more or less how it started.
And did you have a mentor that helped you on your journey, or it was always just self-taught?
No, but for next life, if a mentor can hear me now, we can have an appointment in 200 years.
Great.
That would help because it's great to grow and to learn things by your own, but you lose time, kind of. But I don't have regrets about it because I'm an explorer and I take risks. I trying to be brave, not all the time, but trying to be brave most of it. And when you explore things and you really dig and you want to discover things, for sure you will discover. Maybe you're not going to discover what you plan to discover, but other things like will help to be who you are right now, and that's the case for me.
Exactly. We're always learning, we're always evolving, hopefully, and challenging ourselves is a great way to do that. And what was something that really surprised you about becoming a mentalist? Was there something you weren't expecting to happen, or anything that was kind of out of the ordinary when you started to study and become a mentalist?
People are used to ask me, but is it a gift or are you like Sherlock Holmes, a master in psychology and deducing things? I love mystery, and I think it's better to leave things like that. My favorite sentence about that is like mystery is always better than any explanation. So I'm gonna go a bit like mysterious myself, but you're always surprised, especially from people, of course, from life, because things happen you don't plan, and I let go many times. I'm more like the Stoics, in this sense. Like let go is a very important thing in life, and I'm still a child, so um, I love to be surprised by things around me, and mm, I'm very curious in the good way. So when you're curious, for example, my mom, when I was little, called me Monsieur Pourquoi, Mr. Why, because I was always asking why rabbits don't wear glasses, or
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
As an adult, as a mentalist, it would be more like now as an adult, I would go for all my thoughts faster than the speed of light, you know, but still questioning
Yeah.
myself and the world around. And curiosity, I guess, comes from Leonardo da Vinci for me, because I'm fascinated by him. He was the most greatest genius of all time, and he was curious about almost everything. And yes, it's my DNA to be curious.
And it sounds like you
Um,
found a great way to combine all those things, your curiosity, your childlike, your performing, your acting, your learning, to put on a great show and to also coach people. And I was reading that you perform in French, Spanish, Russian, and now soon to be English. We'll talk more about that. Do you notice a difference in how people react to your performance based on the culture, the language? Do things go differently based on our backgrounds, is what I'm asking as a mentalist.
well, I travel the world with the shows, and there is one thing in common is that people love to be amazed and blown away and having a good time. And that's in all countries, you can see the same thing. But yes, culturally speaking, when you go to Singapore or when you do a show in Russia, it's different because the culture is different. But the good thing is that my show are very based on sharing, connecting to people. So when you have a connection, it doesn't matter where you perform, because people can feel that you are close to them and that you're not, at least in my case, I'm not there to show off and to show what I can do. It's really to have a special connection with them, to tell a story, to share a story with them. And it depends on the languages sometimes, because in Russia I worked hard I worked hard during 6 months because I didn't speak Russian before, and I had several shows there. So
Wait, you learned Russian in 6 months?
not Russian, but just Russian for being able to do my show there,
That's amazing.
with some sentences in French, of course, like "oh la la, c'est pas possible," So it was fun, and I needed them because I didn't know to say that in Russian. So
That's great. I'm sure they appreciated it anyway. And do you have any crazy stories from any of the performances? I know you've traveled all over the world. You've been performing for quite some time. Are there any things that stick out in your mind during your shows that happen?
you know, um, I'm not saying thanks God everything coming into my mind, of course, like everybody. But when you have a feeling and you have names coming or images about someone, in the audience, and during the show you have a confirmation about, I don't know, a travel that person. When you have a confirmation during the show about things, um, you have the premonition about, or you have a feeling about, or that's not scary, but that provokes like a wow, even for myself. I'm That's why I was talking about the childish side of it. I'm always impressed by what's happening in my mind or in people's mind. And that's always the case. It's happening everywhere with every kind of people, every format, because I do shows for corporate people, for companies delivering messages, creating unique and tailored show for them, and shows on stage for public audience. So yeah, plenty of anecdotes. I will attach a PDF to this conversation with all the anecdotes.
We'll put that in the blog.
Yes, we can put that on the blog. My pleasure to do that.
I love it.
And talk a little bit about, you're also doing coaching like we touched on, and hypnotism in coaching, but you've become an expert in emotional intelligence and especially helping people make decisions. So can you talk a little bit about like any tips for people struggling with decision making? I know this is your coaching, but I know so many creatives and people in general, they have a hard time choosing what they want or what they think they want. So do you have any tips for them? Okay.
Most people feel fear, about a lot of things. So when you don't know what to do about something, first of all things, pen and paper, because we have like 60, 80,000 thoughts in a day. So it's better to sort that out. Like, okay, focus on 2 or 3 things only. And for that, nothing better than pen and paper. And you write down, you can leave things going out of your mind. And after that, you can select what you want to improve or where you want to go. And that would be the first step of many, many steps. But no problem. If people want to contact me for tips and advice, I will be pleased to give more insights about that, because it changed people's life. When you're able to make the right decisions about things, as I said before, I believe in a balance between mind and body. So it's the same for decision makings, because we have like cognitive bias, judgment, fear, and everything almost is unconscious. So we are not aware of it. So most of our choices are unconscious. So we have to get there to the unconscious side and make them conscious, to be aware of who we really are and what we really want, to be able to go to choose a direction, because otherwise we don't know where to go and we're lost. And maybe 10, 20 years later, you decide to take a direction, but it's never too late, but maybe you lost a lot of time in the process.
Yeah, we can be efficient in our life goals and our decision making, and using a pen and paper is the beginning of kind of connecting with our subconscious, would you say?
Yes, I call that the unconscious boarding aim, because when you have some aims, some things you want to achieve in life, nothing better to write that down on paper so you can focus and see your goals. And I call it the intention board, because time management is very important. So, for example, you have a goal and you could write down the date, 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years to achieve this goal. But it's an intention board. So when you write things down, each time you write things down with date, you're closer to reaching to your goal. So
I like that. That kind of goes on with the trend of vision boards. Everyone's doing vision boards. 2024 is our year of
yes,
transformation, astrology, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, and this is something, we've talked about forever, is like writing things down, or even just doing what we call the morning pages of 3 pages. If you don't even think, you just let your brain spew out whatever it wants to write down. So it sounds like that kind of goes on board with what you help people do. And have you ever suffered from imposter syndrome? I know a lot of performers, creatives suffer from thinking, oh, who am I to do this? I'm not good enough. Has that ever been an issue? Or if it hasn't, like, do you have recommendations to help people who suffer from that?
first, I'm not sure to know who I really am still.
Yeah.
I'm still exploring who am I every day, but I'm cool with that. No pressure. That's one of the tips when you want to explore and dig something. I guess it's good not to expect anything specific. So you're very open-minded to find out what is there. And le syndrome de l'imposteur. Yes, yes. For example, when I was an actor in Spain, I was thinking it's a weird situation because I'm a foreigner. I was not uh, I was not planning to be an actor. That was a total coincidence. Like it was amazing how it happened for me to be an actor there. I was not prepared and planned for that. And when you have a bit of success and you think that you work hard enough to be convincing, because I guess it's the most important thing as an actor, credibility, and to be convincing to people that you are the character. When you come home, especially after theater or after a movie or after the sets, you take chocolate or wine or whatever, you put some music, you relax, because adrenaline is still high, but you need to cool down. And I do that often. Not the wine and the chocolate, but to relax, it depends. Sometimes it's just music. Sometimes it's just talking to people. Sometimes, it depends. I'm very eclectic with everything. So it depends how I feel and what I want to use to cool down or to just have a good time with myself. I love to be with people, but I love to be with myself too. I'm kind of modest, so I always have been this way. So I know who am I and where I come from. So I work hard, especially not to feel or to think too much about that imposter syndrome, like, oh, you don't deserve that, or it's not for you. But actually, that's a good sentence to recall, because almost everybody around you, at least my experience, when I started something unusual, oh, don't do that. You will never get there. You won't do that. You won't reach your goal, etc., etc. For example, I was mentioning being an actor in Spain. I was not speaking Spanish. I learned there. So I didn't study that here. So I was learning there, listening to people, recording people on the cafe. Shh, don't say that. Nobody's listening to us, right?
I love it.
So I was working hard. I mean, when I wanted to be a professional football player, I was working hard being an actor. I was working hard being a mentalist, because I'm a perfectionist too. And so there is one good side and one bad side about perfectionism and demanding yourself and the others. But the imposter syndrome lives among us.
Yeah, definitely. And I like what you said about just not defining who you are, because when you're totally open to being many things, you don't know what life will throw at you. And it sounds like that's been the case for you. You thought you were going to be a professional football player. Here you are in Spain acting. Now you're on stage doing Mentalist. So if you can just be open and stop, worrying about everything and what you're supposed to be, it sounds like a lot of good things can happen.
Yes, just one thing about the imposter syndrome. For example, people, as I told you before, a lot of people ask me, but is it a gift, after the show or after a training, because I do mental training for the corporate worlds, for salesmen and managers. And people always ask that, is it a gift? Is it whatever, etc.? So as I told you before, I prefer to play with mystery. But we can give some insights.
It's a secret, but also just be open, guys.
Yes, be open.
That's the most important thing. And how would you define creativity in your own words?
Wow, that's a big premise. In a few words, creativity for me, it's bringing vision to life, something like that. It could be everything that makes beauty appear or mysteries around me, or I would say that, and kind of a freedom to feel free to express yourself, who we are.
I like that. It can be like the ultimate freedom.
Yes, because in this world, of course, everybody has met people kind of like that, like, don't do that, and it will be too difficult for you. So creativity for me is thinking beyond boundaries. It could be express myself in innovative ways, for example, too. Taking risk, like being brave. And creativity can be just dreaming, writing, talking. Or personally, it can be showing people different things. For example, with mentalism, it's the impossible becoming possible, And my aim is to think about the ways to achieve something impossible for people to assist that in the shows, for example. But creativity can be new stimuli too when you travel, for example, and you have to adapt yourself to the new country you are, or breaking from routine, having an open mindset. I don't know if it's reinventing myself or continuity with things that I have already been doing. But definitely creativity is growing for me. It's like putting ingredients consciously or unconsciously. And maybe you don't know the recipe, but you will have a recipe.
I like that.
And and the last thing I would add maybe that creativity is like sparking things. Sparks, when étincelle.
Yeah, sparks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So creativity for me, it's like when you can feel that or see that, and you say, "Wow, it's sparking." You can see sparks inside or outside, and that would be creativity for me.
Like it's like that excitement, that electricity, that
Yes.
newness. It's so many things. Yeah, I like
Especially
that.
for an hyperactive like me. When you have electricity, circling, all the words with movements, that's definitely me.
Yeah, it's that calling, those whispers we hear in the back of our head that saying, "Hey, go try this, maybe. You're
Yeah.
interested in this." And what's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice I've received, or one of the best, at least among the 1,000 I have received, would be never give up or don't give up. One of them. And the second one could be don't be afraid to be who you are. I would go with a third one maybe. It feels good to be different and to be special. You don't have to feel guilty about it. I guess the three are tied together, linked together, but yeah, I would go with that.
Definitely. And I wish that's something people could realize a lot younger, because it takes like some experience and some rejections and just more and more, almost like bad things happening to really get to that point of, trusting yourself, not letting other people project their fears on you, so you follow that. I mean, I think that's just part of growing and evolving, like we've talked about during this show, is, trusting yourself to do these things and not giving up.
Yes, you're right. Because, for example, I can hear these words in my mind, like stay true to your passions, don't worry, failures, opportunities. Failures are opportunities. You will learn and grow. Inspiration, try to find inspiration, anywhere you can, in words, images, thoughts, a conversation, a song, a smile, a woman sometimes smiling at you. Um, Even unrelated ideas, because we never know. Like the surrealists in Paris, they mixed ideas and they let the subconscious appear to reveal your true nature. And in a split of a second, when you're not waiting for it, you've got a eureka moment and say, "Oh, what? That's connected to that and this," and you have an inner. Not truth, but an inner view of something new. And that's very exciting to have this feeling about something new you have discovered and maybe not even search for.
Definitely. It's like can surprise you, kind of like when you're on stage connecting with people, things happen that you can't quite expect.
Oh,
And
yeah, all the time, unexpected. That's why, as an actor, uh, it helps me a lot because, I mean, in 80% of my show, you have unexpected reactions because you don't know people there. You don't know where they're from, their histories, where they come from, what problems they have, what dreams they have, everything. Problems, they have everything about their life you don't know about. And all the time, things happen on stage, in the room, where they are. And you have to be ready to deal with them. But it's preparation for improvisation. It sounds weird, but people think improvisation is just like, okay, allez, we're going to do something when something happens. Yes, but like everything, the more you're prepared, the better you're going to be on stage. even for improvisation.
Yeah, because that's what I was just kind of thinking about. I'm like, how do you prepare? Because, you don't know who's coming to the show. You don't know these people. And it's like, so, it's on the fly, we would say in English. So it sounds hard to prepare for.
I love that expression, on the fly. And I would add this, on the fly. Snapping my fingers. Yes, actually, there are techniques, and I try to have fun in everything I do in life. That's a very big lesson I have learned. That's another one. Have fun. Almost nothing is as important as we think they are. And, I'm not saying that in a sad way, but I'm not here for a long time. We don't even know how much longer we'll be here. So seize the day, try to feel good, try, this kind of feel good moments and things. But even if some people are sarcastic about that, I really mean it, and I really think about it every day. It's like a mantra, like Dead Poet Society. You remember the movie?
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I love this movie. And so, yeah, I've got a list of things like joyful, beautiful. And sometimes when you're too ground to earth, you say like, oh, check out this list. Oh, okay. So just to remember that who you are, and remember that even if it's great today, tomorrow it's going to be different. And, like to maintain a positive mindset, whatever happens in your life.
It's about the only thing that we can control is our brains, or at least attempt to control them.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about some of the resources that have helped you on your journey, your creative journey. What are some of the things that have helped you that maybe could help other people?
About what? Sorry.
About how you got to where you are today, whether was it reading, was it networking? What were some of the resources that helped you get where you are today on your creative journey?
Actually, it's going to be surprising maybe for people, but I'm not good at networking, social media and stuff, but I'm on it. I'm going to improve. But I will say the same thing as before a little bit, like being open-minded, don't be afraid to talk to people, to do something you're not used to do. Like taking a backpack and spend 1 week in Colombia, or as I did in Brazil for 3 weeks, like with a motorbike, and talking to people. And of course, now with the internet, I'm fond of books. Maybe I've got 3,000 books, really eclectic. But with the internet, I need more than 24 hours a day, because I'm so curious, as I told you before, that I could spend literally 15 hours reading and thinking and feeling about things I can find in the internet. But I'm so kind of feeling close to human people that of course, I prefer to meet people. It should be easier to meet people because we can connect so easily right now with the technology and stuff. But I guess people have never felt so much alone, or so alone, than now. So I try to spend moments, cherished moment with people, and I try to have cherished moment with myself too. But it's very important to stay connected to people. So disconnect a little bit internet, I would say, and connect with your mind and body, like a kind of yin-yang balance, and let things come to you sometimes. Don't be control freak.
Do you think that we can really truly connect with people online? Do you think there has to be that energy exchange in person, or can that still happen through a computer or a phone?
I believe in energy, because that's what we are. We are energy, and we live in a world full of energy. So I guess the way of connecting is not so important. So if you're on WhatsApp with a video with someone, it's good. If you can meet the person in reality, that's good. And that's better because you can feel the energy, I guess, better because the atoms, and the energy of someone, you can feel, the space of someone. You've got a direct human feeling. It's not really obstacle to communicate to people. For example, myself, I lived many years abroad, and I could maintain links, of course, with my family and the closest persons around me, but to meet new people too. And it's fantastic when you're able to meet them in reality. So usually when I can, and I travel with my shows, I try to spend some days to visit people I know. And when I don't know people in a country where I perform, I take my backpack, I rent a motorbike or a car, and I explore new perspective in the place I am.
I think that's great advice. And this is a question I probably should have asked in the beginning of our show, but what is the difference between a hypnotist and a mentalist?
Okay. Hypnose is playing with the alterated states of consciousness. Okay. It can be therapeutic. I don't know how to say that. Thérapeutique.
What, same word?
Same word. So, okay, it can have therapeutic applications, but it can be just mysterious for fun, exploring subconscious. So hypnose is on stage, for example, for entertainment purpose only, is to make people do something in a special state. For example, you close your eyes and you listen to my voice, and I would go with this voice. Close your eyes, just listen to my voice.
Yeah.
And I will try to change your perception of things. So that would be the hypnosis show, for example. But I don't do that on stage, just in life to help people. And the mentalist, the first thing coming to my mind is reading your thoughts, sense what you feel. But I can add some suggestion if I want to influence you, for example, and to make something you're not aware I want you to make. So that will be close to hypnosis. But the first aim is, of course, to entertain people for me, playing with their mind and even with my own thoughts. That's fun too. But it's reading minds, provoke synchronicity. It's more my way of sharing mentalism shows with people than, better for me than making someone having their thumb into their mouth and being ridiculous, because I like to highlight people on stage.
Yeah.
My show is focused on people. I want to highlight them. I want them to have a good time, and I don't want them to feel embarrassed or whatever. So
yeah, I like that better. And speaking of shows, you are performing in English in Paris for 2024. Tell us more about that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, starting the 13th of March in Paris for the first time. I'm going to share a show in Paris about Paris, 100% in English, in 2 months then. And I've been working hard on my English for 4 months for that, for giving my best to people. And that would be amazing. The story is awesome. I spent months researching for, I'm not going to say more about it, I guess.
It's a mystery.
But please be my guest.
And where can people buy tickets and learn more about the show?
To stay in touch or to have more infos about the show, you can go on the internet and with my name, Fabrice Ferra, ferrafabrice.com, of course, Insta, and I just started TikTok for fun. Let's see how it goes. So you can feel free to reach out and
Great. Well, I know we're going to be coming to see you. We love shows like this. And if you're in Paris for the next couple of months, definitely check out Fabrice's show. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. He won't make you look like an idiot on stage. You're just going to have fun.
For sure.
Push your mind in different ways. And thanks so much for speaking with me today.
Thanks for having me. It was a great pleasure. À bientôt.
À bientôt.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.